Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is yours truly, Jake Flame here. And today's video is, as you can see, quite obviously, a little bit different from the ones I've been doing. I've been pondering over what other sorts of videos I should be doing for my channel. And an idea came up inside my brain a couple weeks ago, and I decided, why not create a video series where I read different books? Now, you've probably seen videos like these time and time again, but these videos of mine will be rather interesting. For those who want to see them, you could use them as sort of a recommendation on book reports if you want to do one, but you don't know what books you think would be very interesting. Or if you just want to add some sort of book to your new collection of things to read when you're bored at home, or if you just, feel like just sitting and doing nothing. Or for all of you parents out there, you can lay your children down and you can put on a video like this as a way of telling your children a bedtime story of sorts. I won't always be reading the same book. Sometimes it'll be a different one. Sometimes it'll be the same book, just reading a different chapter. We'll try and work it out the farther I go into this whole thing. I hope you all enjoy it. Before we begin today's video, I hope you all hit that like button if you like the video. Leave a comment on what other books you think would be interesting for me to read to y'all. And for those of you who aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that bell icon in the corner. And make sure you're notified of all my videos. That way you don't miss out on anything that I might upload. Now, tonight's book, my bad. Tonight's book is a little something called Daniel X Lights Out, made by James Patterson and Chris Grabenstein. Grabenstein? I'm not exactly sure how that name would be. But without further ado, let us begin tonight's story. Alright. Before we all get into it, I want you to know, personally, I believe James Patterson is a pretty good author. I mean, I've read a lot of his books, especially the Witch and Wizard series, and I gotta say, it's some pretty nice stuff. If y'all are interested in reading something from James Patterson, you should definitely look at some of his books, like the Witch and Wizards or the Daniel X series. They're very interesting. Alright, let's see. We'll start with the first part of the story, the prologue. Prologue, Chapter 1. It should have been a perfect night. I was out for a midnight stroll along a dark, deserted highway somewhere in the middle of Kentucky. Billions of stars were scattered across the sky like sparkling diamonds on black velvet. The air was so crisp and clear I could see the Milky Way. I could also pinpoint several of the planets I visited during my dangerous days on Earth as the alien hunter. It's true. I may only be a teenager, but I've racked up some serious intergalactic frequent flyer miles working my way through the list of alien outlaws on terra firma. Quick cliff notes. Terra firma is what we friendly neighborhood extraterrestrials call your planet. The alien outlaws who are here to destroy it, they basically call you guys dead meat. That's air quotes. Anyway, I had recently taken out number 2, the second most heinous, foul, and all-around evil creature on the list. So, I should have been feeling pretty good, right? You'd think I'd take a victory orbit around your planet or dump a cooler of ice water over my head, the way athletes do when they win the Super Bowl or the World Series. But there was only one problem. After you take down number 2, guess who's left? You nailed it. Number 1. Everything I had ever done in my life had been leading up to my next and most powerful enemy. It was finally time to take down the top dog. I needed to eliminate, once and for all, the abominable alien who looked like a slimy, NBA-sized praying mantis, which is how he earned his nickname, the Prayer. If you're wondering how this overgrown, bug-ugly insect became number 1 on my hit list, the answer's easy. He was the ruthless monster who brutally murdered my mother and father 12 years ago back in Kansas. I was 3 at the time, but trust me, I remember each and every gory detail. So, as I was walking along that peaceful highway in the middle of the night, a certain 80s hairband tune was blaring through my head. The Final Countdown. That's the 1986 rock anthem with the synthesized keyboard riff that gets blasted through stadium speakers right before the biggest sports game of the season. Because this was it. My last round in the ring. My NCAA finals. My sudden death overtime. The big test all the little tests had been leading up to. So I wasn't just out for a starlit stroll. Even though the night sky was full of hope and promise and wondrous far-off worlds. I was out there racking my alien brain trying to formulate some sort of plan to take down number 1. A plan that didn't include me dying. The way my parents did when they went up against a 6.5-foot tall insectoid with a bulging, plum-covered body and stringy red dreadlocks dangling down between his antennae. Oh yeah, number 1 is a real charmer. Suddenly, an air horn blared behind me. I whipped around. A speeding tractor trailer came roaring up the road out of nowhere. I did the math, analyzed the trajectory. The answer wasn't good. The 18-wheeler would be plowing to me in the blink of an eye. Prologue, Chapter 2. In the nanosecond before I joined the bugs splattered all over the big rig's engine grill, I tried to stop the truck by using my imagination. That's right, my imagination. I was born with a strange ability to rearrange material at will, and being able to create whatever I need, whenever I need it, is a superpower way better than shooting sticky spiderwebs out of your wrists, beaming infrared rays from your eyeballs, bending your rubbery body, or flying faster than a speeding bullet. Hey, if I want to do any of those things, and a billion others, all I have to do is imagine myself doing them. You might have trouble buying into what I'm talking about. The power to create and manipulate the atomic structure of objects around me, including a mammoth Mack truck, is completely, alien to you Earthlings. But it's just part of who I am. Kind of like having blue eyes. Only much more useful. Anyway, in the split second before being splattered, I decided to put a 10-foot thick steel wall between me and the monster truck. I'd also make sure the truck driver was buckled in tight and that he had deployable airbags. Hey, I didn't want either of us ending up as tomorrow's Blue Plate special at the Roadkill Cafe. I concentrated on the image of the steel barricade. Hard. I have to be totally focused on what I'm creating to pull off even a simple transformation like this one. But in terms of difficulty, blocking oncoming traffic with an impenetrable wall is a kind of atom scrambling I can usually do with both hands tied behind my back. Usually. But not that night. The truck slammed right into me, sent me flying. There was no 10-foot steel wall, just 10 tons of pain and agony. I hit the asphalt. Then double sets of steel-belted radials crunched across my legs. I heard my ribs splinter and my finger bones snap. I have never felt such excruciating pain. Never. Not even when the late number 2 turned me into a tumbling boulder and sent me rolling down the jagged side of a molten mountain. Something had gone horribly wrong. My creative powers, my amazing imagination, they'd failed me. Big time. As I lay moaning on the pavement, slipping in and out of consciousness, I remember thinking, how did this happen? How could this happen? I had been fully focused. I was totally rested. My powers were completely charged and ready to rock. But I couldn't even conjure up a simple wall? How could it happen? And then I heard a terrifying voice screeching inside my head. A voice I remembered from when I was 3 years old, hiding behind an old water heater in the basement of my Kansas home. How do you think it happened, Danny boy? It was him. It was number 1, the prayer. And that concludes the prologue to the book Daniel X Lights Out. I know you would probably have thought I'd read some more chapters, but again, I'm just now starting off with this kind of video. So, if it goes well, then I'll try and make sure that I read more chapters next time. Let me know what y'all think about today's video in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all next time I post a video. And for all y'all watching this at night, sleep well and have sweet dreams. This is yours truly, Jake Flame, signing off.